Hello, I'm Laura Stevenson from Inner Reset Therapies and BWRT Scotland. I'm a psychotherapist who works with BWRT as one of my main therapies that I do with my clients because it gets great results. So in today's video, what I wanted to do is discuss your brain and understanding the brain a little bit and how BWRT works within that. So let's start with what is BWRT? And BWRT stands for BrainWorking Recursive Therapy. It's an internationally recognized neuroscience-based approach developed by Terence Watts in the UK in 2011. And it's a rapid, effective way to change how the brain responds to triggers, automatic responses, and distressing memories. And it helps you feel calmer, more in control, and no longer at the mercy of old emotional patterns. So first, let's look at how does your brain respond to triggers. Now, your subconscious or unconscious brain operates on a completely different system from your logical conscious mind. Whilst your logical conscious mind uses language, reason, and time, the subconscious communicates through sensations, imagery, and instant emotional responses. Okay, so the oldest, most rudimentary part of your brain. So this is why we think we can know logically that something isn't a threat, and yet we can still feel our body tense or our heart race before we've even had the chance to think about it. So, for example, one of my clients once felt a rising panic every time they heard a certain ringtone on a phone. And what happened is it turned out that their body was reacting to a sound that was linked to a distressing call that had happened years earlier. Now, consciously, they knew that the phone was harmless, but subconsciously, the brain had already hit that danger button long before logic could even catch up. Okay, so you can see that even though we know something consciously, it doesn't mean that it still doesn't impact us. And this is where a lot of people get confused about why they can or they can't change. So let's look at how traditional methods can fall short. Now there are a lot of great therapies out there. There really are, and things work in different ways for different people. Now traditional therapies um, oftentimes work well. Let's go or talk therapies, oftentimes more traditional, and they work with the conscious mind, the part of the brain that reacts already after the trigger is already fired. So like once the horse has already left the stable, the conscious mind is kicking in. So that's why it can feel really slow and frustrating when it comes to trying to break something that's emotional. So those emotional loops, as I like to call them, because your brain has already fired that neural loop. So trying to repeat an affirmation or just think differently or use your willpower can feel so frustrating. And I'm sure you found that it doesn't always create that lasting change that you're looking for, despite how much you really, really want it. We've got to rewire the brain, right? So because you're trying to reason with a part of the brain that doesn't speak the same language, it can feel so frustrating. So here's how BWRT works. It works directly with the subconscious mind, creating change where the automatic response begins. Okay, so during a session, what we do is we identify the moments that your brain starts to react. And then through a specific structured process that allows the subconscious to choose a different outcome, one that feels safe and grounded and much more empowering for you, that can help you release the emotional charge around the distressing memory or thought. It can create a preferred emotional response that feels neutral and calm. And you can experience genuine neural change. So your brain will no longer react in the old way that it did before. So What makes BWRT different? It's direct subconscious work. Okay. So BWRT is working with the brain's instinctive processing rather than talking around it. Okay. We get rapid results. Clients often notice powerful shifts in just one session, and many describe it as if the feeling or the trigger just stopped existing. Now, the memory didn't go away, right? It's just the emotion that surrounded it has stopped, is no longer as visceral as it once was. I often explain to my clients as that we are unhitching the wagon from our memory. So the emotional drama and cycle and loop that was holding us back and keeping us in this cycle and keeping us responding in a way that was no longer serving us, we unhitch that and we put it in, we make it fire in a different way, and that's really empowering. You also don't need to relive any trauma. So it's non-invasive and it's respectful. So you don't need to share any details of painful memories. And BWRT works safely and respectfully with your own inner experience without needing to completely flood your system, talk about it, bring it up, something that makes you feel uncomfortable. We only need you to think about it for a really short period of time before we go on and do the intervention. And it's versatile and empowering. And so it's got broad applications. At last count, over 200 different conditions, right from self-identity to somatic feelings in the body and the way that the body is operating. And it's really effective for anxiety, for grief, for phobias, for self-worth issues, and even habits and loops that feel that they're stuck on repeat. So let me share a real-world example or impact with you. One client shared this with me, and these are her words. As I came to BWRT after years of anxiety that would flare up out of nowhere. And after just one session with Laura, the same situations that used to make my chest tighten just didn't anymore. It's like my brain forgot how to panic. I used to, and now I feel free in a way that I didn't even know was possible. I feel like I've got more time because I'm spending less time in worrying and being anxious. So, and that was a beautiful result that we got for that client. So this kind of transformation is common because BWRT doesn't just help you cope. Okay, it helps your brain rewire the pattern so the old reaction no longer exists. And that's the important thing. Okay, so if this sounds like something that you want to experience for yourself, please get in touch. If you want to explore how this method could help you reset old emotional loops or release long held patterns, so you can reach out to me on bwrtscotland.com or on Instagram at Inner Reset Therapy. And, you know, let me help you help as though, let me help you as though in the same way that other people have been helped, and experience this for yourself. So become calm instead of reactive, confident instead of cautious, and free instead of triggered. So let me help you do the same for you. Thank you.